Let's talk about time management. Let's talk about entrepreneurs and time management. Here's what I know. Do you want more ways to be able to be a better parent and get more done? What I know is the data shows that most people even high achieving entrepreneurs that are wasting 10 to 15 hours a week. That's even like you and I, they're getting a lot done. We're wasting a ton of time. And most agents are even worse than that, right? But for a lot of us entrepreneurs, real estate agents, etc., we're wasting time for most of us, it's not our fault. Nobody taught us how to manage our time better. Right? Like think about that. Who taught you how to manage your time well? Most of us, we weren't taught that. So nobody gave us the tools. And yet you hear your kids saying, Dad, can you spend more time with me? Mom, why are you always so busy? Hey, have you heard your kids say, hey, can you put your phone down? Or hey, Dad, can you get to my game? Whatever it is. How many nights have you felt terrible because you weren't spending more time with your kids? Right? How many of us really? Here's one of the things that hit me years ago. One of my coaches asked me to do this. He said tonight for like 20 minutes. Right? Don't have your phone in your hands. Put your phone down. Just look at your kids. Don't play with them. Just look at your kids playing, and count how many times your kids look up at you just for like acknowledgement or Dad, see what I'm doing in that 20 minutes. I'll tell you what, I about broke down as I sat there on the couch and watched them. I put my phone away and watched how many times they looked at me for acknowledgement or just to say how, just to say, Dad, are you proud of me? Whatever. And it crushed me because I realized how many of those moments I've missed. How many moments have I missed by not being more present with my kids, not being better at time self management? So let me give you this. You've got to get better at this. And you've got to decide right now, I'm going to get better at time self management. I'm not going to let another day go by because someone else is getting twice as much done and not missing anything. Someone else is getting more done, more accomplished, and not sacrificing time with their kids or their loved ones in order to get it done. So there is this ways to know. I had a client, a couple of years ago called me. He's running this big real estate team, and we had some money issues, a lot of different things, a lot of different moving pieces. But one of the things he said was, he goes, "I'm not the dad that I want to be." And about 6 months later, one of the best things he ever said to me was, because of what we've done, because of the coaching and everything we've implemented, he goes, I'm finally, the money's great. Right, he was going negative $60,000 a month to positive a ton every month. He goes, but what I'm really proud of is that I'm proud of the dad I am now. And that's what this is about. There's no point in, I see so many entrepreneurs have this mindset that like, and then I'll blank, right? When we get this and we get cash flow to blank, then I'll spend time with my kids, or then I'll be more focused. It doesn't work that way. So I want to give you a couple of strategies. These are the ones these are a couple of them. There's several more, but I want to give you a couple. One of my clients, she literally came to me a year ago, and one of the things she said was, I want to be able to I want to have more time off. I want to be able to do more things. And we dived into what that would exactly look like. Here we are a year later. Check this out. Give me some love or some likes if this resonates with you. She's taking a week vacation every single month. Every month, she's taking 1 week to go on vacation. Y'all, that's incredible. And it's because of a lot of these things. It's because of these things that we implemented. So let me give you five hacks that you can use right now that I guarantee will help with your time management. So the first one is this. The first one is, and there's this quote that says, it's not about time management. It's about, my video stopped. I don't like my little video. Right, there's a quote that says, it's not about time management. It's really about priority management. And I believe there's a lot of truth to that. So here's one of the tools I use. This one's very simple, and yet I believe it will help you. So one of these simple tools is I have a little Google Doc, and this document literally is like could, should, must. This works for me. One of the things I do on a daily basis is it's easy to have a million to-dos, and you can have a to-do list that is, looks like you're starting to write a book. The problem with to-dos or the coulds is everything looks kind of equal. Everything feels like it kind of has the same weight. And the problem is we tend to do the easy things that help us feel like we got to win, not necessarily the most important things. So one of the things that I do is I use this could, should, must list. So here are things that I could do, right? Here are things that I should do, and then really here are the musts. So what I do is I limit myself. I might have a ton of coulds, right? The coulds may go on forever, right? But I limit myself to only having a 6 or 8 shoulds, and from those shoulds, there's only 3 or 4 musts. So on a daily basis, right? What are my 3 or 4 musts? These are things that are the key parts that if I get these done, at least I know I'm moving my life, my business forward. What are the 3 must for today? And then, right, there might be a longer list of shoulds, and then there's a big old list of coulds. What I find is when I get the must done, man, it feels amazing to get the 3 or 4 key musts. And then when I get those done, I can choose to go get some of the shoulds and bring them over to the musts or not. And yeah, I'll tell you what, it's really easy to go day to day to day and be really busy and have a ton of goods and look back 6 months later and not have got the most important stuff done. Does that land? Like how many times have you had that done, right? So what I know is the most high achievers that I get to work with are very clear on their must do's every day. And they limit themselves to 3 or 4, not 15. It might feel like 15, but they limit themselves to 3 or 4 musts. They're the most important. Okay, here's the next one. So that's the first thing. So the second one would be this. The second one is batching. Now this one is fun, and it's very important. Imagine I did this to you. Imagine that you, or let me say, imagine you saw this in my day. So I'm here at the office. Imagine my wife calls me and she says, Wayne, I have 7 pictures I want you to hang. I go, awesome. So I drive 15 minutes home, hang 1 picture, and then come back to work for another couple hours. Then I drive all the way home again, hanging a second picture, come back to work for a couple hours, right? Drive home again, right? You'd be like, dude, stop. All this driving is insane. It's taking you 15 minutes both ways. What are you doing? Like, go home, hang the 7 pictures, and then come back to work. In our physical world, that makes all the sense in the world. The problem is we're doing that in our mental world all day long, right? I'm working on an email. And then a text message comes through, and I stop working on the email and I go check for the text, or I'm working on an Excel project, right? And my phone dings, and I step out of the Excel project over to the phone, and I'm going to look at the phone to see what's going on. We're switching back and forth all day long, but because we're in the same physical space, because I'm not driving home and then drive back to work, because I'm in the same physical space, it doesn't look like I'm wasting that much time. The reality is, though, it takes a lot of time to get out of the project I'm in, right? Go look at my phone, figure out what's happening over here, and then come back into the project and go, okay, where was I at? The second tool, one of the best things you can do is get better at batching. If I have 7 pictures to hang, right, find a time to hang all 7 pictures, then come back to work. If I'm working on my calls for the day, stop answering emails, stop answering text messages. Do one thing at a time. Do all those at one time, then move to the next thing. A lot of times I don't respond to a text for hours, because when I do respond to my text, I respond to all the ones that came in the last 2 hours. I'll spend 10 or 15 minutes responding to all of them. Then I can get back into the next project. Batching is a huge thing that will save you a dramatic amount of time and help you get way more done in your day, which leads to number 3. Number 3 can kind of tie into this really well, but number 3 would be 25-minute increments. So one of the things that I've seen a lot of my clients do that helps is they have these 25-minute increments that they work within. So they'll go, hey, for the next 25 minutes, I'm going to work on this one project. Nothing else. I'm going to block everything out. 25 minutes is one project. At the end of those 25 minutes, I give myself a 5-minute break, and then I'm going to the next thing. Working within 25-minute windows. And what they do during that time is we shut off everything else, right? Put phone on do not disturb, right? Shut email down, whatever it is. In 25 minutes, when a lot of times they'll set an alarm on their phone so they don't have to look at their clock, right? When the phone dings, right, that's when they take that 5-minute break and then do something else. It's amazing what you can get done in a focused 25 minutes versus how much time you can waste in a unfocused 3 or 4 hours. Promise you this works. Okay, here's the fourth one. Fourth hack. The fourth hack is blind spots. Let me say it that way. I love, somebody said one time to me, they go, I know what my blind spots are. And I said, that's awesome, except for that's not a blind spot. You might know your weaknesses, but a blind spot is something you don't see, right? And what I realize is number 4 is coaching, because so often we don't see what we don't see. Right. And you need someone else to step in your world and help you identify what are the blind spots. Where are you wasting time? What's not working effectively? There's so many different activities I do with my clients to help them get clear on where they're wasting time and where they could recoup time. Some of my clients have literally, I have one gal who was working 5 days a week and stressed out of her mind because she had 4 kids and all this other stuff going on, right? She was stressed out, and what we helped her do, and it was like a miracle from the outside looking in. She went from working like 5 to 6 crazy days a week to 4 beautiful days a week. And now she gets to be the mom that she wanted to be. She was yelling at her kids. Like, she hated the mom that she was, but she knew how to make money, take care of business, and not work 5 to 6 days a week, right? And yet through our work, right, we were able to take her from 6 to 5 to now she works 4 days a week, loves her life, makes dinner every night, does the things that are important to her. So if you don't, and Mike, you get this, right? If you don't have someone else speaking in and seeing what you don't see, sometimes we're so close to the tree, we miss out on the entire forest. I guarantee you there's ways to get better with your time. If you allow someone else to help you with that and give you some insights. Okay, here's number 5. Number 5 is I hope those help. Let me know which one of these stands out to you. But here's number 5. Stop doing things for the first time every time. How often do we find ourselves doing something for the 15th time, yet acting as if it's the first time? An example of that would be, how many of you have written the same email 20 times? Stop. Template's a thing, right? It's easy, right? In Google or whatever email program you use, like just press save and template that email. We instead of writing the whole 30, the 5-minute email, you just have to fill in 2 lines so you can sit off. Start templating, start looking for ways to automate things. Instead of making one buyer packet, print off 40, and all you have to do is change 2 things, right? That you insert in there. We do so many things for the first time every time, and it's wasting so much time. Whether that's the questions you ask, whether it's your packets, whether it's your interview process, whether it's emails, whether it's auto text. One of the simplest things that I did on my phone was I went on my phone. You can do write text replace, so I can put like 2 letters in there, and then all of a sudden my address pops up. I can put 3 letters in there, and then the next email or the next text message I'm supposed to send pops up. You can auto put those long messages. Right, writing out your address takes what, 20 seconds? But I'll tell you what, I was writing on my address several hundred times a year. Now I get to type 2 letters and my address automatically pops up now. It's, if you're watching this video, you're probably not someone, you're probably like Mike, right? You're probably someone who's not sitting around watching 2 or 3 hours of cat videos every single week. You're probably someone who we've got to find, and this would be my challenge for this week. My challenge for this week would be, find 5 or 10 places you're wasting 5 minutes, and let's get an hour back. Find 5 or 10 places where you could template some things or do things different, and get an hour, 2 hours back. It's not these huge chunks of time you're probably wasting away. It's the smaller things. So we do things like we walk people through, especially in coaching, right? We walk through the time matrix, right? What are the 4 different boxes? We walk through the top priorities. What are the things you need to be doing? What are the things that don't matter? So if you want to have that conversation and you recognize that, here's what you have to realize. This is what it was for me. I had to get ticked off enough. I had to get pissed off that other people were getting more done in the time than I was. What really ticked me off, I used to brag about how many hours I worked. I used to brag, oh man, I worked 100 hours this week, right? Man, I was noticed the grindstone was after. I was hustle, hustle, hustle. Then I realized somebody else was getting more done in half the time. And I was actually bragging that it took me twice as long to get what they got done, right? I was working 100 hours and only getting done what they were getting done in 40 or 50 hours. Right. And I started to gauge myself in a totally different way. So if you want to sit down and figure this out, if you want to get some of the top books, the top podcasts, the top tools we're using, reach out to me. Go to pickwaynesbrain.com or send me a direct message. I would love to work with you on this, because I'm so tired of entrepreneurs thinking this: I'm going to be a good dad, or I'm going to run a business. Right? I'm going to be a great mom, or I'm going to make money to take care of my family. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Yet so often it is one or the other, because not because we're dumb or we don't want both, but we're not equipped. We're ill-equipped, and it's costing us way too much. Right? Some tools, some lessons, some principles will dramatically level up and impact your life. All right, my friends. Like I said, love to have a conversation with you. Go to pickwaynesbrain.com or send me a message. Let's get you better at time and self-management so that you can be the parent you're proud of. All right, go get it, my friends. Talk to you soon.